We have also imposed tough, calibrated sanctions on the socialist Maduro regime in Venezuela, which has brought a once thriving nation to the brink of total collapse. I start my day in...
Silence. Where are my slippers?
Where's my notebook?
Write down your dreams. Write down my dreams. Let's guarantee it.
The greatest success, the greatest victory in the electoral history of our people is they don't want Venezuela to fall into a bloodbath.
The silent and surgical operation by North American security forces that invaded Venezuela caused outrage in the Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro, who, even while in Russia, has already started looking for someone to blame within his regime. Diosdado Cabello, the number 2 in Chavismo, tried to get ahead of Maduro's reaction and declared that he was the one who negotiated the opposition's exit with the United States. But this claim fell apart in light of statements from Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the rescued opposition member Magali Mehta. Both assured that the operation was carried out unilaterally by the United States and without any kind of agreement or knowledge from the Chavista regime. The order came directly from Donald Trump and was executed precisely by Delta Force, with support from the United States Air Force and Navy, as well as CIA interceptions. This was one of the boldest maneuvers ever carried out inside Venezuelan territory in recent times. Welcome to life in the barracks, life in the... Maduro's reaction upon learning that the country had been invaded while he was visiting Vladimir Putin in Russia was immediate. The operation caught the regime completely off guard, revealing the vulnerability of the Bolivarian security apparatus. The embassy of Argentina in Caracas, where the 5 opposition members had been in asylum for more than 400 days, was the central point of the rescue. Neither the Chavista government nor the Brazilian government, which was responsible for the custody of the diplomatic mission, received any prior information about the operation. Hours after the operation, Magali Mehta posted images on social media revealing that the homes of the rescued opposition members had been raided by regime forces in Venezuela. The rescue was carried out quietly and efficiently without any shots fired. Venezuelans only learned that the 5 opposition members were already in the United States after the fact. The exact timing of the operation was carefully calculated by the United States to coincide with Maduro's trip to Russia, leaving a vacuum in the command of Venezuelan national security. Sources close to the Pentagon stated that Delta Force soldiers were infiltrated days before the rescue, disguised among the civilian population. All the soldiers assigned to the mission spoke Spanish fluently and had physical characteristics typical of Venezuelan citizens. This was crucial for the success of the infiltration and the extraction of the targets, who were removed by helicopters with stealth technology similar to those used in the operation against Osama bin Laden in 2011. The extraction maneuver took place right in the capital, Caracas, which is surrounded by mountains and dense forests and is only 15 kilometers from the Caribbean Sea. This geographic setting favored the strategic evacuation. It is estimated that the final point of the extraction was a United States Navy ship anchored in Trinidad and Tobago. This Caribbean nation, neighboring Venezuela, had recently signed a military agreement with the Americans right after Donald Trump won the elections. The movement of the ships had already been observed for weeks by defense analysts, who suspected that a large-scale operation was underway. The precision and speed of the rescue demonstrate the level of preparedness of the American Special Forces. The use of helicopters with low radar detection, close naval support, and Delta Force soldiers specialized in urban infiltration shows that the operation was planned months in advance. Meanwhile, the Chavista regime limited itself to monitoring the opposition with a Bolivarian police car in front of the embassy. The truth is that the United States played smart and won another round in the war for influence in Latin America. Diosdado Cabello, who is a typical Maduro sycophant, tries to position himself as a political operator amid the chaos. His public statement that he had negotiated the departure of the opposition members was interpreted by analysts as a maneuver to divert Maduro's anger and maintain his position of power within the regime. Internally, he is already preparing a scapegoat to take the blame for the security failure. The absolute control of a Venezuelan elite that fears losing power at any cost leads to frequent acts of arbitrariness. The fury shown by Nicolas Maduro in Russia has created uncertainty among the military commanders, who don't know how secure their positions are. There are reports of unusual movements within the main military bases and the activation of air defense systems, even without a visible threat. The fear of a second, even more impactful operation has reignited the alert within the regime. The CIA, as it has been doing for years, continues to monitor the regime through interceptions and recruitment of internal agents. Sources indicate that there are high-ranking Venezuelan informants collaborating with the Americans. The strategic objective is clear: to weaken Maduro from within without the need for open war. A direct conflict in South America is not in the interest of the United States or neighboring countries. The operation also sent a direct message to the president of Brazil, who chose to remain neutral during the more than 400 days of exile of the opposition members in the Argentine embassy. The absence of any initiative on the part of the Brazilian government exposed its silent alignment with the Chavista regime. Now, with the opposition members safe, Brazil finds itself in an uncomfortable diplomatic position, especially with the scheduled meeting between the Brazilian president and Maduro on Russian soil. Donald Trump, by personally authorizing the operation, reinforces his stance of confronting authoritarian regimes without committing troops to prolonged wars. The strategy of using special forces for targeted missions is being applied with precision in various parts of the world. With this, Trump strengthens his image of strong leadership and quick response, something his voters value. There is speculation that the next action by the United States could involve the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado. Although she is still in Venezuela, it is believed that there are plans to get her out of the country. She in turn maintains the stance that she will only leave Venezuela after freeing her allies, who remain imprisoned or missing. Meanwhile, the 5 rescued opposition members are beginning to restructure their actions from the United States. The international community recognizes them as victims of political persecution, except for the Brazilian government, which, even while guarding the embassy, did nothing to save them from the clutches of Maduro's regime. The Delta Force operation revealed the fragility of Chavismo. The illusion of absolute control collapsed in just a few hours. Venezuela now lives under permanent tension, waiting to see what Donald Trump's next move will be on the geopolitical chessboard. For the Venezuelan people, the operation was a breath of hope amid the repression. But for the regime, it was a humiliating blow. And if you want to watch a full video here about the American Delta Force and its main operations around the world, leave your comment below. And remember to get your HT29 military smartwatch with a super special discount at the link in the description or the pinned comment. Life in the barracks keeps you updated on the latest in the military world. Leave your like, subscribe, and watch one of the videos that's showing up on your screen. Onward, fighters, until next time.